What's happening, everyone? We're here today with Jeff Underhill.
Yes, sir.
The one and only.
Oh, brother.
You were asking earlier about who listens to podcasts and who's interested in them, and I think it's kind of worth mentioning to everybody that it is a little bit somewhat more of a generational thing. And I know I said this before, but when you go on a TV show or you're a guest on some network show or something, you get like a 15-minute spiel, basically.
Yeah.
And this is something that you can really get to know somebody in depth, or at least however much they want you to know them.
Here I come with a question again. What good does that do if there's only 3 people listening?
Well, hopefully that person tunes in, so then there'll be 4.
I feel like I'm dogging you out, and I swear I don't mean to. I just
tens of people all around across the country listen.
There's going to be 10 of us now.
Tens. As far as we could almost fill this room up.
Exactly.
You know, we can almost have a live audience.
A 12-pack could do it.
You very astutely noticed what's in the corner of my garage.
Oh yeah, of course.
And that's it is an LS motor, as you said. But it's the iron block, so it's an LQ. It's LQ4.
That's what you'd rather have if you're going to do any blowing.
Right, and that's what I plan to do. I plan to put a turbo in it. And I have a 4L.
And that's going in the Camaro?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right now, it's just got a 350 and a TH350 in there. You know, it's good enough for like picking my daughter up from school. She helped me build it. You know, but it's funny because when I pick her up, right, the car's parked, right, so everybody's walking by with their kids and everything, and I fire it up, and I have to I'll throw a little rev. When I do.
Well, yeah.
And it's like I'm there every Wednesday, but every time they get startled, you know, like
yeah,
like the beast is here.
Yeah,
you know,
I hate that guy. No,
I know. I hate that guy too, but unless I am that guy. But so that is actually the second part of the project. I actually started that. I got it for $1,000 from a tweaker, and it was all messed up and everything. My daughter helped me paint it, helped me rebuild the interior, exterior, the motor. But that is something I got out of a 2004 Silverado, the 2500s.
Yep.
I bought the truck for $2,000. And I was just driving it around, and I thought it was good because it had current tags on it and everything. And I was waiting for the registration to come. Lo and behold, I get pulled over, and they're like, "Why this car hasn't been registered in 8 years?" I was like, "Oh no."
Well, I mean, didn't the license plate have a sticker and all that kind of crap?
Yeah, it did. Everything I got was faked. So when I turned it in, I guess it threw a red flag because I just mailed it in. You know, I'm not gonna go in and wait in line. Mailed it in, and they pulled me over. I don't know how they knew, but they wouldn't let me drive it home, so I had to get it towed home. And I was like, I'm not going to spend another $2,000 in DMV fees to drive it around, right? So parted it out. I ended up getting probably like $1,200 back. Most of that money was on just the catalytic converter.
Well, how are you? Jesus Christ, it's another thing I don't get. But anyway, how can you part it out if it isn't really yours?
It was. I paid the guy, and he gave me a bill of sale. Yeah. But there's no way for me to register it. So it's technically still, I guess, that guy's.
That's what I'm saying. You parted out my car, damn it. Or whatever.
But I called him, and because it broke down on me on the freeway because it had like some kind of I think it was the crank position sensor was off. So it was throwing codes. And I knew, so I was like, okay, well, it's probably a sensor.
Oh, but it was still running?
Yeah, it was still running.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't running well, but it was still running enough to I could drive it, So anyway, I parked this thing out. I kept the motor, kept the transmission, the 4L80 that's in it.
So would I.
Very beefy. Heaviest transmission I've ever had to deal with.
You can't break them.
Yeah. And then just the wiring and the gas pedal because it's a drive-by-wire instead of a drive-by-cable. So I kept that, and the first stage is just I'm going to take that transmission. I just have it strapped to an office chair out there, so it's really it's covered, but that's what's going to have to come in first and be all redone. I want to take it apart, rebuild it. There's a hydraulic kit that they sell for it that – because I guess there's a problem with those at high RPMs that the tail shaft goes dry. And
I didn't know.
and so so there's like a retrofit kit that helps with the hydraulics in the back. There's that, and I'll put like a little bit of shift kit in it. And I know I'm probably going to have to do a stall converter, which I'm not super excited about.
Why?
With the turbo?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got to wait for that to.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I'm going to have to like learn to drive it because I've never had a turbo car before.
That's going to be, to me, that would be more work than it's worth. But you know,
Well,
I don't count. I'm an old bastard, I guess.
The idea, the idea behind that part of the project is build a 10-second car for 10 grand.
Oh,
And so with $800 already just in the motor transmission for $800, I'm on
damn
the
good.
Yeah.
Hell, I'll give you $1,000 right now. Damn.
I can't sell that right now. I mean,
No,
that's now because my daughter also helped me take that out, and she was like, I think she was like 4 or 5, but she helped me in like this, Elsa from Frozen.
Oh, yeah.
She was wearing a little Elsa dress when she was helping me work on the car.
Oh, no.
Like,
Don't tell me she got it all dirty.
oh, that's okay. I mean, she had a couple of them, so she was willing to
all
part
right.
with that one. It was worth it, but
Hell, that's pretty good, man.
but getting that thing out when it's connected to the transmission,
I wouldn't have done that, but anyway, yeah.
I took the whole front of the truck out and just slid it, kind of.
Oh, all right.
But even that, hard to get even that out. It's so heavy, Yeah. And I'm used to like the LS motors. I'm used to. My last one was a 99 SS, right? With the 6-speed in there, the
Yep.
T56.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, one of the best, But and I could have that thing out on my chest in about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I could pick that up, no problem.
That ain't an automatic, though.
This one, I mean, it is wild how heavy it is.
Hell yeah.
And I just hope that the thing I'm trying to get behind and like trying to like really work around is the logistics of putting that together.
What do you mean?
Well, just because it's so heavy and because it's got to be kind of custom fit, you have to kind of dent.
You're probably
the
going to
top.
have to make a cross member, actually.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get just like a tubular K member, like one of the, and the whole front suspension like brake to brake. Just do that kind of like the Mustang 2 kind of front suspension a little bit.
What for? Yours is all right.
It's okay, but it also comes with the brake retrofit because the brakes aren't the best in it.
Yeah.
But and it's got drums in the back, So, but that's the rear end, and that's going to be.
I got a
the
truck
most
with
of
drums all the way around, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is like I plan to take this to the track.
Oh yeah, no,
And
I
so I
gotta
gotta stop.
10-second quarter. I'm like, okay, I know what he's doing.
Yeah, so that's really just like the mission of it, And I know you can appreciate it because you're an LSLT person yourself.
Well, yeah.
And it's just like the LS motor is today's 5.0. Because it's so cheap to find anywhere. Because really, it's not.
People are taking 5.0s out and putting LSs in.
Yeah, right. And it seems sacrilegious.
Well, but that thing is so easy to make power with.
It's so easy.
And not expensive.
And it's
relative.
right. It's right at the sweet spot, right? Between like when they got all the OptiSpark problems right with the LTs, they did coil and plug. And
that's the first thing I'd do.
Yeah, exactly. But then, and it's right before the times when they started cam phasing, displacement on demand, direct injection, and things like that.
You're going to delete all that shit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this one wouldn't have it. This doesn't have it.
Some people like the Turbo 350 and 400 better, actually. Not because they're more bulletproof or anything like that, but just because there isn't so much crap, no electronic control and...
Well, that's the reason I like this one so much because that's what I'm used to. That's kind of the world I came from is being able to tune the car with my laptop.
See, that's where I'm not.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're here.
I put Scott's Yukon. I got a reader, and I'm like, so what's N485 or whatever? And I don't know, it was a ground or some shit. He takes it to the shop and it's a battery. I can't even read my goddamn code reader thing. So anyway.
Well. The 4L80 is basically an electronically controlled TH400.
Yep.
And the reason that it's going to be so great is because there's a way that you can tune it. You can tune the transmission to start in third gear, and then once it hits 1 mile an hour, it'll downshift to first. So it
What do you want
acts
to do that for?
so that the boost won't overpower. So I can boost it at the line without overpowering the wheels.
Oh, damn, dude. Okay, you got
Yeah.
this kind of figured out. Don't you? All right.
See, it sounds like a stupid idea at first, but then it's like it's almost a way to engineer or to tune in a trans brake. You know?
I guess so.
Because it's not like a trans brake where it's in forward and reverse at the same time kind of thing, but it is it serves kind of the same purpose.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. See? You didn't think
Well,
you'd learn
I like
anything today.
supercharging better too, but yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, I haven't had a
Because of the
supercharged car
lag,
either.
but anyway.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Well, that's the thing is I was thinking about a supercharger, you know, and my stepdad, he bought my Camaro number 3 was also a 99 SS, and he supercharged that with like a D1 SC Pro Charger.
Oh, okay. The little belt. What do you call that? Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, I think it was one of the centrifugal ones.
Yes.
And so,
Oh, it was. Okay.
wait, no, it was belt driven.
Yeah.
It was belt driven. Yeah, you're right. But you know, I couldn't hear the whine from it. You know, and so it's like, why have it? You know, and he's like, I don't want anybody to know. Well, I want the flash. That's why I've got the stripes on there. You know,
I guess. Yeah.
and that turbo sound with a V8, it's
it's
hard to beat.
badass. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, like I say, I get it. I just, first of all, never wanted to build anything full race or any of that crap,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, like, if I had your car, I'd put that in it.
yeah.
I probably would use a 4L80. I don't know, but I wouldn't do any of that crap. I just, would like the car. And let's say we did go to the track this weekend. Whatever it does, I'd be fine with. Maybe doing a little more crap if I got into it more. But at the point I'm at right now, well, first of all, I was on motorcycles forever. Didn't really.
Ooh.
Not that I didn't care about cars, but all I cared about was just this vet crap.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, and I mean that.
This vet crap.
Yeah. I mean,
to all the Corvette enthusiasts out there.
no, my brother. I'm playing horse. Okay, first of all, we moved out here so I could take care of my mom.
Yeah.
And or I should say back for me or whatever, right? Anyway, and so we moved into a 55 and up community. I never know what to call it, neighborhood, wherever the hell they are. And, because we thought she'd get out and that's pretty cool actually. We got our own bar and 3-4 parks, and you're doing all kinds of things. And but that didn't work out with her. But it has been with me. I'm playing water volleyball, and so anyway, I was playing horseshoes because we have a sports tournament. And here comes this brand new black vet. This is 23. And I'm like, or it might have been 22. Anyway, I'm like, damn, that's badass. Out jumps Scott. Holy shit, dude. What the hell, man? And I always wanted a vet and crap. So anyway, he doesn't know a lot about cars. You probably figured that out. So I would go with him to the Corvette meetings and stuff like that to, I guess, make him feel better. I don't know how to put that. I don't mean that badly. I just mean...
Kind of, well, to usher him into that world,
yes,
you might say.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that. And then pretty soon, like, especially in the Corvette club, they were like, well, when are you going to get one? Or, you ought to just be a member now. You've been here almost a year or some crap. And when I saw this one, I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want a vet. It's not more dangerous or whatever in your mind than a motorcycle. Who cares, right? But that one is like, okay, that's a special Corvette. Like I told you earlier, I probably won't drive like him and all that kind of crap. He was into, when he first got that thing, he was into that what is it, 2 second 0 to 60 or something with the launch and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, good God. I'm like, man, and he's just doing it wherever he feels like, okay, let's try it now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, looking around. And well, a lot of my crap, too, is that I've not always been legal about everything, like might not have insurance or it's in your name till I get till payday or some crap, and I'm doing that right now with this. I got Kansas plates on it from my truck. But even then, I don't know, maybe it's the law thing.
Well, most car enthusiasts, and motorcycle enthusiasts too, if you were into that when you were a kid and you were into it when you were young enough to fuck around with it, then you got in trouble with the law. I know I did.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And so you kind of always have that that sense of like, ooh, you know, like I can't be doing this here.
Yeah.
And
for the bike thing's almost worse too, because then it was, you know, like, I don't know, early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They'd take your coat off and take pictures of your tattoos, ask you what club you're with. And, you know, it was just so I guess for me, that was, you know, I'm a biker, you know, screw you and your vet and crap, right? But like I say, then this one, and that's another thing I like about this, you know, you're talking about being flashy with your Camaro and all that, right? That's just a shit C4 when you see me, you know, until I blow your ass off. But,
until it's, well, don't they have different gills or no?
Oh, you can tell if you know what you're looking at, but, you know, most people don't.
Right.
I like to say the ass is fatter too.
Yeah, it is.
The quarter panels are fatter in the back. Yeah.
What kind of bikes did you have?
Oh, I've still got. Let's see. I've got a '59 Panhead, an '87 Sportster that I set up like flat track. You know,
okay.
Like the Sacramento Mile, as a matter of fact. What else do I have? An '82 FLH, which is just the same as a Panhead, and then I've got a chopper I built ground up. I got the motor from Harley, got the tranny from eBay. I call it an eBay bike because almost everything, I probably had wheels or something already, you know, some crap. But the only new parts are the engine, the frame, oil tank, and the risers. Everything else was eBay.
Nice.
And that's my daily rider. That's the one I wrecked. That's why this hand's screwed up.
Oh, shit.
But,
what happened there?
Let's see, the road went left and I didn't, I think. Yeah.
Lucky to be here.
My son was with me, and he's like, "You did everything perfect. You stayed on, or you got off the bike or whatever." And I'm like, "What?" Because I told him, if you hit a car, fly over it. If you lay it down, you're going under the car with it and going to die. If you hit, fly over. Hell, I've gotten up and wanted to beat the shit out of the bitch for stopping at a yellow light or whatever.
Were they on like a cell phone or something?
No. I'm saying before, and before. So I taught my son how to wreck, if that's a thing.
Wow. Yeah.
And, he says, I wrecked perfect. Well, the thing is I did, I don't know what with my neck. I can show you a picture, but I'm crippled.
Well,
and I know I don't seem like it, but I hide it well.
Yeah. God.
And constant pain. But anyway, I already put that bike back together. That's the one I'm still riding. And two are on the patio now because I had to make room for the Corvette. But...
Man.
Let's see, you said about me. So anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Well, because I had a very short motorcycle stint, and it was when I was in college in Chico, and so my first bike was a CBR 929RR, you know, one of the hands
Oh yeah,
down.
I've had bunches of.
and the second was a little tamer. It was a Suzuki RF 900R.
So your first bike was that Honda?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude. All right.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh my God. When I got it, it's like the fastest car you've ever been in.
Yeah, you're nuts.
And it's just like your face is right there. And so I'm like, we lived in a place that had like a little alleyway behind us. So I like learned how to shift right back there. I hadn't even had dirt bikes before, you know? And so.
And that's your Jesus, man.
And so it was there. And it was very adventurous. You might say reckless.
Yeah.
It was I also had like a LS with 150 shot of nitrous that I had. That one wasn't, you know, but like, I remember just riding it around, and I never did crazy stuff on it. Look, I think the craziest thing I ever did was like, it was Halloween, and I rented this George Washington costume from this theater company. And somebody saw me at a light, and they're like, George Washington on a street bike. And I pulled the front wheel up, you know, and my little cape was dangling. I haven't like gone like 160 or anything in there. I don't like, there's not enough traffic to like weave between lanes up there. So I always felt like I was in Vegas, and I had to like, every day I didn't crash was winning. And eventually I had to cash out before I was up, you know?
It's true, actually.
And so like one day I was driving home from school in the rain, and I had never rid in the rain before on one of those bikes, dude. You know? And it's kind of windy too. I was like, and the wind was pushing me. I was just sliding. I was like, oh, if I make it home, I'm selling this. And so I made it home, put it on Craigslist, sold it. And it was like 6 months later that I even told my mom I ever had a motorcycle.
Oh, dude.
So she was like, you what? you know. But they're very fun, and I definitely see the appeal. Like, there's something to be said for being able to park that thing right out front, get it, like hop out, get in. You're not like putting your seatbelt on. You're not, you put your helmet on, you go.
Yeah.
And
in San Francisco, you park right on the sidewalk, walk right in. Mm-hmm. It's great.
Yeah, there's really something to be said for that, and I don't think people talk about that enough. Where it's so versatile, goes anywhere.
There's ride your bike to work day or ride your motorcycle to work day sometime in June, I think, and that's about the only time that it gets brought up. Like on, I hate using the words mainstream media or whatever, but that's the only time it gets talked about on TV or whatever,
Yeah, more like corporate media, I guess you could say. It's more like the corporations have that, where it's like just me. It's bought the equipment and stuff.
Yeah. No, come on, where's the sponsor?
Hey, we're taking sponsors.
That's right.
Looking at you, Summit Racing
or Chevy.
Yeah, any of them. I mean, but. Yeah, you were saying the mainstream media doesn't get brought up. You said it gets brought up when they have the ride to work day.
Yes, because they're trying to tell you how great it is to ride a motorcycle. And the thing is, we think motorcycle or Corvettes, race cars, whatever, they're kind of in the same vein. Whereas truthfully, I don't know, a 250 Yamaha to go to work every day, park on the sidewalk after work at the bar or whatever. I mean, it's just a lot easier, except for carrying crap. But I mean, you got backpacks and stuff.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's never brought up enough. There should be way more motorcycles. And you know how easy it would be to drive if there were more motorcycles than cars? Yeah.
I actually am, that reminds me, when we had our run-ins with the law, of course, we were younger. I got a ticket. I had to go to the school to fix it and make it so I didn't get a point, right? And so this guy was a motorcycle rider, and he said something that I still think is true today. And he said, if everybody rode a motorcycle, there would barely be any accidents and there'd barely be any fatalities.
Yep.
Because it really is just people in the big old cars not paying attention.
That's never been on a motorcycle, knows nothing about it.
Right. Isn't watching, isn't pulling to the left when they go by.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's another thing. Well, we're going to start getting off on another thing. But yeah, when you look at somebody, you tend to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, when I'm in the fast lane and the guy splitting the lane, I got to give him a little room,
Oh, yeah.
And I love seeing the hand, you're welcome, buddy. Anytime. Glad to do it,
Yep.
But then it's you get the people that I see these videos and they're opening the doors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that's got to be illegal or whatever. I mean, you're really trying to make me wreck instead of, you screwed up and got in my lane or something, I get. But,
right.
You're like, oh, here comes a bike, open the door.
It's attempted murder.
You better hope you kill me, motherfucker.
It's attempted murder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it should be.
You better hope I'm dead, because you're going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wild, But,
anyway, sorry we got on the bike things, but that's what I started. Well, okay, I had two Camaros, 67 Camaros, but they were both six bangers.
Oh, okay.
And so the first thing is, and then we didn't have LSs. Anyway, the first thing, at least a V8, even if it was a 307 in those days, right?
Yeah.
And but my dad went through a lot of trouble with that straight six, and it was badass. I'll never forget. I sent him. I was in the Army, and I sent him $100 for a year, maybe a little more. Get me a car, and then I come home and you owe me, I forgot, $1,200-$1,400 or whatever. I bought you a car with your money, but I rebuilt the engine, so you owe me $1,400 or whatever, right? Because it was badass for a six banger. It was badass, but
nice.
The whole time all you think about is that V8,
Mm-hmm.
And
it's the sound too.
I thought, well, yeah, and I thought I knew everything, So I was afraid about smogs because we got it here in San Mateo, but I was in the Army, so it was at Fort Campbell with me, Fort Hood, all over, and so when I got out the Army and came back to San Mateo, I thought they're going to want to smog it and all that crap. So I did put a V8 in it. That's another good story too. But anyway, I did put a V8 in it, but I thought I'm not going to be able to smog it and crap, so I sold it.
Oh.
And I'm still pissed now that I know it's 75 and under.
Oh.
I know. if I ever find that car, I've kind of been looking.
What year did you have to do that? Or what year did you get it?
What do you mean?
What year did you get the car?
Oh, 78.
Oh, yeah.
And then I sold it in 86.
Well, because they were going to start doing, because I think there was a law passed in like 1995.
No, that's when I left.
Well, it said that like it was like, because they were doing every car that's like 20 years, right? They were doing like 20 years car.
Yeah.
It was like a 20-year rule or something.
Yep.
And then they started, and then I think it was 95. They
And
were
that's
like,
where I thought
75, we cut it
that's
off.
where I thought I knew everything, I guess, because it wasn't 20 years yet or whatever. And so, they're
Right.
going to, and now I know PCV valve, which you want anyway. Hello. But I thought, oh God, I'm not going to ever pass smog crap, and so I cruised around the block with open headers and then sold it. And
Nice.
then a year later or so, this guy calls me, him and his kid are rebuilding or going to build it. It's going to be badass, whatever. So they wanted to know the history.
Oh.
So I got with him, and they were calling it the Texas Camaro. And I was like, it's not Texas Camaro because I got it at the Army in Texas. It's, I got it. I bought it here. It's actually San Mateo or whatever, and that has nothing to do with anything. But I'd like to find that car, damn it.
It probably has a V8 in there now.
Well, I put it in.
Oh, what'd you
That's
put
what
in
I
there?
say.
307?
305.
305.
Out of a 76, 78. A buddy's Camaro. He told me we can have the motor. So I told him I'll be over Saturday. And I'll never forget, because in San Mateo, it's sunny. And, just 10 miles, you're in the fog.
Yeah,
And
we actually moved from San Mateo here.
Oh, okay. Me too. And he lived in the fog. So we get up there, and he's not home. And the car's up against the garage. So we broke into it. We can't put it in neutral without the key and crap. So we're like clunk, 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 clunk. Turned it around, took the engine out. and left it. It never did see him until like the next day or two or three at work. And I was like, hey, dude, I know you. And I can't remember. I think he got mad at me for not getting rid of the car because he didn't want the whole car. And all I wanted was the engine. But anyway, the bottom line is I got it in, had to do a different part for the throwout, not the throwout bearing, but you know how it goes from the frame of the car to the engine to the transmission where your clutch pedal is.
It's not a fork, is it?
Yeah.
The fork?
Where, I was going to say where the fork is.
Uh-huh.
I had to get a different, arm.
Oh.
So anyway, but and in those days, like now you just look shit up and there's usually a kit for anything like that in a 4L80. You can probably just order a whole LS kit and it's going to have mounts and a new cross member and all your shit.
Yep.
But in those days, we didn't know anything. You just, well, let me try a Corvette. I don't know. And so anyway, we were at a swap meet or something or a car show, and the guy said, "Oh, this is what you need." And it was $16. Fucked with that car for months.
It's just a clamshell mount, right?
It was just a little. Anyway, so I put that in, and now it's great, except I don't have an exhaust system, and I still don't think I'll pass smog and blah blah. So I just, like I say, I cruised around the block once with what finally had a V8 in it.
Yeah.
And hell, I'd like to have that 6 now. But anyway,
I mean, numbers matching 6 is still
well, just because that was a good motor. Like I say, it was rebuilt. Everything was great, and I only cruised it 20,000 more or something. I mean, it was still pretty much a new motor, a good motor. But anyway, sold that, and then I was into motorcycles then, but not as hardcore or whatever. And then so then from 86 on, it was motorcycles kind of period.
Oh. That 305, was it was it carburetor or was it like the TBI years?
No, not this is way before that.
Oh, okay.
Well, 86 is not, but this wasn't new. I think it was a 76 because 78s have the different taillights, but did they have 305s in 76? Maybe, hell, with my luck, maybe it was a 350.
Because that's when they choked things up, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's when they ruined cars.
Again, that 6 was probably better, since it's the tuned down 305, but it had that sound, especially because I had new headers on it, and I was trying. But that's the other thing is you're broke in those days. Mm-hmm. Now, Hell, I can call my 401k. That Scott wants me to do that. He wants me to get a C8, and I'm like, no, I don't like him that much. But
what would you get? Would you get a Z06 or another ZR1?
I want a 19 ZR1.
Ooh.
If I like hit the lottery tomorrow, that's probably what I'd do.
2019, that's C7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's when it was still the engine was in the front.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was that was when they first started the dual overhead cam years
Well, no,
of
mine
Corvettes.
is 91 is 90. Well, actually, I didn't know this. I just learned this like a week ago. There were 30 made in 89. Scott's wife, I guess at Marshall's or somewhere, finds these shirts, and it was an 89 ZR1. And I was like, well, they didn't have any, but thanks for the shirt, hon, or whatever. And that sounds stupid, too. But anyway, I found out there really were 30 and 89. I'll be damned, I didn't know that. But 90 is the real, I mean, if you find one, buy it. It's like a 67 Camaro Z28. There was only 602. If you find one, get a loan on your house if you have to. I tell everybody that.
Well, that's the thing, too, is now cars are kind of like an investment, you know?
Well, but the biggest thing I'm finding now for and motorcycles, cars, doesn't even matter. I told you I've got the 63 C10. Is this shit alcohol gas. It eats all your rubber or it turns to water if it sits for a month. And it's just, I had more trouble with Honda motorcycles because of that too.
Yeah, I think I said this before, but when I was a kid, we used to have, jet skis and some boats, and they were all carburetors. And so my grandpa had a plane, like just a little Piper, So we used to go and fill everything up at the airport with 100 octane
and
light
that
leaded.
doesn't have any of the crap in it. Yeah,
right.
I would do that right now.
It's lightly leaded, so it kind of has that cooling effect, and it's better for carbureted motors.
Yep.
Not so good for the IQ points with the lead, but it's still better for the car.
Yep.
And now, because I tried to do that when I had this, because it's still carbureted, I was going to fill it up at the airport, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do that."
Yeah. Well, it is illegal.
Yeah, it is illegal. They have to mate it to it's magnetic, I guess now, so they have to mate it to the wing. But you can't just bring a gas can.
You go in quarter turn.
Yeah. So I tried. But that's another thing.
There is an adapter that'll make it like a gas station instead of the kunch.
Oh.
It goes into that. And now it's like a regular one. But
that's what I would have needed.
But you don't need. The thing is with the with new valve seats and I mean new since '78 or whatever. When the hell did unleaded gas come out? Maybe that was '76.
Yeah, late '70s.
Anyway, since then you don't really need the lead. I just mean the alcohol in gas since, I guess that's probably the 90s.
Oh, the ethanol, yeah.
Yes. Well, that turns to water. If you take two jars, put old gas in and new gas, you'll see the new gas will split and there's water within a month. The other one still looks like gas.
Yeah.
So anyway, that does your car. And that's what I tell Scott and everybody. With a car like we have here, don't leave it in your garage, or when you get done with yours, don't leave it and drive it once a month or whatever. Drive it once a week. I don't care if you just go get a loaf of bread and the son of a bitch. Drive it once a week because you got to get that shit gas.
That's what my grandpa always said, and he because he helped me rebuild the motor, but that's why I make it kind of a point to go pick my daughter up because she gets out early on Wednesdays, so I pick her up every Wednesday, and that kind of fulfills that. At least I'm starting it. At least I'm starting it.
And mixing
the belts
that
are going,
water gas bullshit up.
And throwing the oil around in there, But with this motor, I actually plan on doing E85 as fuel.
Okay. Well, that changes everything. And that turns the water quicker.
So, yeah. So I'll have to be a little more careful about that. But I already kind of have this, the routine where I just drive it more. It's going to be fun to drive anyway.
And that's, exactly. You're thinking the way I would think.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do it this way because it's faster or better or whatever reason you got.
Right.
But you're going to drive it. People do that shit, and then I haven't driven that thing in a year, The wife had a kid and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, geez.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. And then they want my help. And I'm like, oh, sorry, dude. My wife died. I don't know.
That's what you said last week.
This is a different one. No. Because they want me to help them, and I'm like, oh God, and then they just stand there while I'm doing everything. So I quit helping people too. That sounds bad. I didn't quit helping people. I quit working for them in the old days, I'd have your carburetor all over this table and crap, and I'd do it for a 6-pack or a case of beer, and an hour and a half later, the beer's gone, and I've still got 3 parts to put back, and you're pissed off, and it's getting dark, and I quit doing that.
Well, I am that guy now for my friends, kind of, because we actually had a good friend of my wife's and a good friend of mine, actually. He came over, and he brought his 65 Mustang, right?
Oh, those are easy.
Easy. And so he was driving up here, and he's been on the show before, but he was driving it up here, maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes out, his clutch cable snaps. And
clutch cable? You shouldn't have a clutch cable.
He's got one because he has it's a 5-speed transmission. It's a TKO 5-speed from a
he got
5.0.
So he's got hydraulic.
No, clutch. It's cable clutch. I wish it was hydraulic because I hadn't worked on a cable clutch since I was in auto shop in high school.
Hell, I've only seen that on motorcycles.
Yeah. So he brings it in here, gets it towed here, and I'm like, I'll take it. And he's an electrician, so he was helping with electrical stuff in the house. And so, yeah, that's not a problem. I could replace it. So I went and made sure that it was a clutch cable, and it was snapped. So we got a new one, and I'm taking it all off, and I'm up to the pedal, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing is on here. Everything is stripping, even like a screwdriver, stripping. Everything is stripping. So I'm like, how'd you get this on here? He was like, oh, that's actually not the screw that goes in there. That's a bigger screw that I had, and all I had was my impact for work.
Oh,
so
my God.
So he impacted a bigger screw in there.
So did you have to rethread it?
No. I fucking bent the clutch pedal back, took the thing out, bent it back, and made another hole, screwed that in there. So it's screwed in and it's anchored in. And I just put the clutch cable back in.
Damn.
But
There's another example of the stupid shit I ain't doing anymore.
Well, I always say every 2-hour job is one stripped bolt away from becoming a weekend.
Yep.
And that's the thing of working on anybody's car is like, it's anybody's guess if it's going to be like, okay, you're out. You're good to go.
And don't you dare say this will be easier. We'll be done by noon.
Yeah.
You just fucked us.
You fucked it. Yeah. Yeah. What you say is, I'll take a look and see what we need.
Yeah.
Don't go in there with any expectations or anything. Just see. I'll take a look. Sure.
Well, and that's the thing is, and I don't know how you are, but I talk so much shit. People think, oh, he's going to work a miracle, I guess, And then I look at it. Oh, good God, dude. And, but I need it tomorrow for work. You want me to start this?
Tomorrow, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, Christ, dude, by the time I get that cable out and your stupid bolt that wasn't supposed to be in there and rethread this and I keep hardware out the ass and it's all like this is national fine, this is coarse, this is fine nuts, coarse nuts,
Oh, nice.
Countersunk. So by the time I get your shit out, I got the good stuff to make it better, but that's an hour and a half more.
Right.
To your 10-minute job.
And you're trying everything. You're trying, maybe I could do a reverse bit. That hardly ever works. Maybe you could try drill in the middle.
I was just going to say, get the goddamn drill.
I got the drill, and the thing is, the fitment, the tightness in there, I couldn't fit any drill in there.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like,
then I'd be getting mad again, too.
So I was like, I'm going to have to rip this whole dash out so I can drill this out.
Man.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Figure out another way.
You must not have the temper I do.
Well, I was here and I drank a lot that night. And
well, okay.
I was at one point I just got so frustrated. I was wearing like a little white beater. I just got mad, just ripped that shit off. And it was covered in oil anyway, so it wasn't anything lost. But then I got oil all over me now because I got another couple hours and I'm in there and it's like I looked like the car ran, at that point. And eventually I got it done and he was out here at like 12:30. So it was a 12-hour job.
Yeah.
But sometimes.
And he gave you $4 and lunch, right? Jesus.
Oh, no.
Christ.
He did a lot of electrical work for us inside. So it was kind of a trade.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he figured out that there were some switches that were in there that were hidden because when we moved in, we had to basically redo everything. And I made a deal with my wife that I would do the electrical if she did the plumbing. And so she did the plumbing. I did the electrical.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. And so...
she did the plumbing?
Yeah. Yeah, she put the toilets
God
in. And
damn,
the
dude,
seats.
that's a keeper.
I know. That's why I wiped her
Wow.
up. I made sure to knock her up before I wiped her up so that she had to say yes.
Nice.
But so, you know, and some of the switches, I mean, I'm not an electrician, so I know how to put a switch in. I know how to put, like, change the switches out and make sure they're wired, but there were some that were like a 4-way switch to where, like, there were multiple switches that controlled the same lights.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure that out, right? So I thought I figured it out. And I was like, okay, I'll just leave these two and I'll block this one off so that it's not, doesn't get messed with or shut off. Well, that didn't work out, you know? So he came by and redid that. And he redid our fan that I guess has a switch that shuts off in our bedroom, shuts off our living room fan. So
Jesus Christ.
yeah, you know, that's just the way.
See, I'm with you on that. And then, like, the 3-way, there's only one hot. I know all
Yeah,
this crap.
right.
but
I know the hot.
How do you do it? You
Yeah.
know, call him.
Hot ground neutral.
I'll do your cable.
Yeah, but anything other than that, it's like, it's complicated, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Very. And even the electrical on cars, it's like, I barely get that.
Well, the car one, I guess because I'm not as afraid of it, you know, I mean, you can get shocked pretty well. You know, put a wrench across your battery, it'll weld the
Oh,
son
yeah.
of a bitch.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But
Ruin your whole day.
It doesn't throw you on the floor from the ladder or whatever, like AC.
Yeah.
But I guess I just understand the car and motorcycle crap better.
Yeah.
Pre-computer crap. Now, well, that's most of the bikes and stuff, because I did the same thing on bikes. My nephew comes over and it won't run and do this or whatever, and I'm the same thing 4 hours later. But on the new crap, it's almost always ground. You probably know that.
Right. Like the grounds are rusted or corroded or something. Yeah.
They don't look like any. It looks fine.
Uh-huh.
You take it up and it's all white, and you're like, oh, son of a bitch.
Mhm. And that corrodes the sensor.
Yeah.
And it makes you think like, oh, there's something wrong with my brakes. There's something wrong with my traction control. No, it's something wrong with not even the sensor, but the ground to that sensor. Yep. Yeah. That's something that it adds that extra variable that you just kind of always have to think about.
But you know, for you, it's your generation. For me, I'm learning now. That's the first thing I'm going to check. That's the easiest thing.
Yeah, because they're all usually under the car.
You know, as well as me. Before you went, oh Christ, you went and bought a new resistor. You went and bought a new throwout bearing. You went, whatever, and you just keep replacing crap. That wasn't it.
Yeah.
Damn it,
Yeah, my wife hates when I do that. Spend all her money.
Still, I know, man, and I still do it too. But that's another thing about that LT5, trying to find parts. God damn it! But
oh wow, yeah, I bet that's damn near impossible.
It was just a little radiator hose because it's got intake cooling, and four trips to Napa, and the oil filter was in the middle of that too. But anyway, 4 trips to Napa and 2 hoses, and I think like $60. I was surprised about that too. Anyway, I ended up making it, and now I've got an extra too because since I had to buy a hose this long, I made 2.
Yeah, I did that with shift cables.
Yes, you know the.
Well, so let's take a look at it.
We're still doing this crap. Yeah, okay. No, I got to get better English or something. I don't mean it as bad as it sounds.
No, you're perfect for the audience, for the tens of people watching across the world. They love it.
For the other 9.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it.
Okay.
Look at this. Looks like some Boyd Coddington rims, perhaps. Oh yeah, we gotta pop that hood. What we're about to see, many people have never seen. This will easily be the largest 350 cubic inch motor most people have ever seen. Out. I'm good at editing.
You see, right here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's from me doing this. Trying to get the hood open.
Oh.
When I bought it, they went and cleaned it. And, damn it, come on. The kid went and cleaned it. The pin wasn't going in, so you'd have to give it a little kick.
Oh.
Right? Well, this pin wasn't even tight. It was sitting going like this way.
Oh, they bent the pin, huh?
So I was like, son of a bitch, put the pin in, right? Close is beautiful now. But now the cable's probably out of adjustment or whatever for that. That's why it ends up being like that. But
Oh my gosh, look at this thing.
so any other has 4 of these.
Yeah.
It's 4 singles. This has 8 because it's like secondaries in your 4-barrel.
Jeez.
That reminds me, I gotta show you this.
Are these Strano Bilstein shocks here?
Oh hell, I don't know.
Oh.
Like I say,
Definitely look like Bilsteins. Okay. LT5.
this is what they call the pizza box. I guess because it looks like a pizza box.
The pizza box.
This is all the crap, right? And so what I did was, for a little more bling, so the car's 32 grand. The ZR1 doubles it.
Yeah. Ooh.
The CF
65 grand in 1991.
91.
Holy
Can you imagine?
shit.
You could buy a house for that shit. Maybe
I mean-
not here, but
Well, I think a newer
My
ZR1
first
is
house
probably cheaper as far as the inflation then, right?
what is it? You mean the brand new one? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Window
So I
sticker.
wanted something else. So here, come here and check this out. So there's a whole thing here on this doing 175 for 24 hours.
Wow.
And I wanted to make this so I had something to show you, but not that you would have to read this whole damn book.
Right.
So I took this paragraph out and that paragraph out, and then I wanted this part, so I took, I forget which, or no, not that page. Damn it. This page, I just took that out, and that's what I made here. Because that way you're looking at this, and there it is, 175 for 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
Still a record. Still a record in 90.
How would they refill it while it's going?
Well, they put the only thing they did, and that this says it, the only thing they did is a bigger gas tank, 38 gallons, put that weight, anyway, and a roll bar, because you don't want to roll it at 175.
I can imagine.
But everything else is just like that came.
Wow. Holy crap.
And again, that's why I bought a Vet.
No, it's the history of it.
The rest, you know, get on one of my motorcycles, especially that one I told you I built.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even weigh 500 pounds, and it's not even, I don't know, 70 horsepower. You know?
Right.
But you're hauling ass. Compared to this, you know, this ain't shit. But for cars it is.
Yeah. I see you have the chair back there.
Yep.
All Corvette owners must have a chair and a hat.
I also figured out, yeah, did you see the hat?
Yeah, you must have a chair and a hat. I know, I saw. So you must be a Taylor Swift fan.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But that's the CF 6-speed, and of course this.
The CF 6-speed. Now is that...
It's the same one in Mustangs too, it's German.
Oh. Which Mustangs have it?
I don't know. Obviously ones with coyotes, because it's high horsepower.
Oh, okay. So more of
I would imagine GT 350s and 500s, right?
Yeah, the more recent ones then. So the brake is on?
Yeah, you got to pull it back up, and now do it. Yep. You have?
Looks like the brake light's on.
It's still on? Yeah, you didn't do it all the way then. Okay, now push down. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And that's just so you can get in and out. Have you got this on close-up or something?
Is it?
I know, hell of a time to show that to you.
There we go. It's on the furthest way now.
It still seems close. That's the other thing about this 6-speed. It's easy as hell to drive.
Oh, I love the Tremix. I had no complaints about them. They are strong as hell.
If I don't have traffic and shit, I can drive this and you won't even know it. You'll think it is an automatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I used to commute in my last Camaro, and it was like, you know, even driving a stick through the traffic with that, there's a lot worse you could do. A lot worse.
And this is the double one we were going to jump.
The Duke boys.
That's right.
Double speed bumps.
This one, we would have jumped that second one.
I actually have jumped a car before. It was my 93 Ford Tempo.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus,
I smashed the oil pan. So I don't recommend that.
No.
Of course, it cost me $1,200 to fix that $800 car, but you know.
I've done the same.
The interior of these is so like molded to the driver, you know?
Yeah, this thing, it's kind of like a, I don't know, I want to say an airplane or something. When you get in, you're in.
Yeah.
You can't screw around.
Yeah, it's cockpit.
Damn it.
It wants you to floor it.
I know.
Oh yeah, the valves are open.
You can tell when you get to the, I don't know a better word, secondaries.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like in a Honda when it hits a VTEC, you know?
Those are badass motors.
It's almost like that, except on a whole other level, you know? But the feel to this thing is, it's more of an animal, you know?
Yep.
And because it has like, I can tell this has its own personality.
Scott and Ophelia said it was angry. That cracked me up when Ophelia said that. She was like, it's angry. Your car sounds angry.
This is technology from 1991,
yep.
But it's still like, it's faster than my Camaro was by 99, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's faster than the LS motors. I'd put it right up there with like the LS6.
Well, with the chip and the long tube headers, I'm at 405.
Yeah, I believe it.
It started at 375.
Well, they underrated them, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So I was probably at the wheels maybe 400, you know?
That's like at the Z28s, the first ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they only made them to get into Trans Am racing because it had to be 5 liters.
Right.
And they all say 290. That Ford did too.
Yeah.
And we all know they've shown that those little 302s winding up to 6,000, 6,500.
Yep.
We're pushing almost 5.
Yeah, well, they rev like hell.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at the tack, I was going to say, you can go higher than that.
Oh no, not on the first try. Oh no,
You did great, dude.
I had to be a gentleman. This is
And I
not just
appreciate
any
it.
Corvette.
I appreciate it, but
This is something that can't be like replaced with insurance.
if I thought you didn't know what the hell you were doing, I wouldn't have told you to, though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but you did. You know, you were doing great. So I was like, well, hell, get it, dude.
Well, you know, this is one of my loves. You know, is cars and specifically GM V8s.
Yeah.
And even if they are slightly tainted by Lotus.
Yep.
So that way, if I want to, I can take the headlight out, make the inlet go directly into the turbo. If I really wanted to get crazy, you know.
I wonder, can you set it up so, like right now, driving to the track, you got your headlights and crap. You left at 6 in the morning or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the track, take that out, put a piece of hose there. So now it's your intake. That might be worth looking into.
Oh Oh, yeah, actually.
You know what I mean?
I think people do
Take
do
the
that.
headlight out, put your little tube in.
Yeah.
Now drag race all freaking day. Take the tube out, put your headlight back in, and drive home.
Yeah, you do that.
I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of the same kind of concept, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember Ford did it. Ford did it 67.
With the GT40s?
They had with I was going to say an Impala with a Galaxy.
Oh.
There's 4 headlights, but the middle 2 are intakes. And they're going to a carburetor. It's old. Like I say, I think 67s when they first did it.
Oh yeah, that was going to be. I really really wanted a Ford Galaxy 500 for my first car. Instead, I got a '93 Ford Tempo that smelled like burning plastic.
Ford Tempo. I'm trying to think of what that is.
It's nothing
What the
to be
hell
really.
is a Tempo?
Here, we'll look it up real quick.
Well,
I'll show you.
It ain't that important.
No, you got to see this because it's something that here one.
So you've never seen those Galaxies and
This is exactly
I can't think
the
of the
car.
other Ford.
Right here.
Damn it.
And it was exactly that color.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So it's like a little
Oh,
tiny
my
Taurus.
God.
It had 96 horsepower.
And you
was
had to kick Grandma out, didn't you?
It was my grandma's car, yeah. It was.
I thought I was making fun of you.
I got it with 50,000 miles on it.
Damn.
And it was, when I got it was already, 10 years old.
You know what's funny is we didn't know it then, but that's got why do words leave me like that? Anyway, that's got technology in it that we're still using now. That motor's all aluminum.
Oh, yeah.
As stupid as those cars were, like the
Yeah.
Taurus, but they were. There's
was
a lot
all-
of stuff we're still doing.
All aluminum, 4-cylinder, and
Yep.
it was a 96 horsepower beast.
No, I didn't even know there were that much.
Yeah. 96. I used all 96 horsepower. Believe me.
Well, of course you did. You're not Grandma.
I mean, I had it jumped one time. Like I told you, it was.
Oh yeah, you did.
That's
tell
the
me
one that shattered the oil pan on the bottom.
Oh.
And actually, that
Was
car,
the oil pan plastic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's the only car. If it weren't for that car, and if I actually had a reliable car when I was in high school, I may not have gotten into cars as much as I am now. Because it was because I kept breaking it, and I kept getting shat on by these different shops that I would take it to. Like they'd tell me it's something else, and the problem would still be there. Oh, well, that's probably this. Would still be there. $800 later.
Doing it the same way we do. Replace that shit. That didn't work.
but charging me for it. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so I just got to learn to do this myself, and so I did, and I
Yep.
was recalled my auto shop days, and that was it. And
Speaking of that, I still have my, my homework and crap from
Yeah,
high school.
my notes. I have
believe
them
it or
too.
not. And I was showing Scott because our dad died, and then now just our mom just died in March. And he was on swing shift. So I'd come home from school and leave, I can't understand the points or, whatever my question was. And then, go to bed, and he'd come home at 11:30, and he'd say, oh, you got to set the number 1 to top dead center and put the distributor in or whatever, answer my question. Then the next day I'd be like, oh, okay, and go to school with
nice.
And, so showing that to Scott, he got to see Dad's writing, and what's the first thing he tells me? You got an F? Like, damn, dude, you're not supposed to be looking at that.
I mean, we all have that one friend that takes Spanish and he speaks it at home, but he still gets a C.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like, come on.
Dude, you could take, we had, I don't know how many 289 Fords. I think somebody must have given them like 8 or 10, our high school. Mm-hmm. And so you're on them all the time, the same one and stuff. And, dude, I could do that thing blindfolded now. But we had a 413 boat engine that ran backwards.
Was that a wedge?
If he was pissed at you, he'd take the distributor, like, all right, put it back together. Well, you think it turns clockwise, and you're sitting there screwing around, and boom, boom, and you're taking it out. And Dodges are only one way or the other. You don't have teeth like a Chevy.
Right.
And finally, at 50 minutes into the hour class, he'd go, it turns backwards. Now you know to put the distributor.
That's difference, not to be overstated.
No, what? But
You know?
he did it to teach you a lesson because you were acting up or whatever. But and the reason I know is because so we had our folders or whatever, the notebook, and he wanted that kept up too. Well, take the distributor out, bump the motor over, I can get it running. Whatever. I can fix your car. Write it all down to like showing your work in math.
Yeah.
Fuck. So I was always in trouble for not doing the notebook. That's usually when I had a question for my dad, because I can take your distributor out, put it back in, do everything right, explain how you did it. Well, you put a finger, it'd take me an hour and a
This
half
bolt and then this bolt and then the top one.
You need a 9/16, and I know everything about it, but as far as writing it down, so.
Yeah, it's the cataloging.
So I'd ask my dad all that kind of crap.
Yeah, my auto shop teacher, so we had different times. Some days we would be just doing the labs in the shop area.
Yep.
Some days we'd actually just do the classwork.
Yep, us too.
And so one day, and it was early, it was called A period. So it was the first period, even before the first period of the day. So it started at 7, right? Usually class started at 8:15. This one started at 7, and I was tired. So one day I fell asleep in class.
Oh, no.
And I saw somebody fall asleep before me a different day, and he threw a wrench at him. But he's good with the wrench that he was just good enough to get that wrench on the pole of the desk. So he hit that chime, that ding,
Oh, okay.
and he waked right up. But me, he shut off the lights, and he told everybody to be quiet and leave the room.
Oh, no.
So, and it was like the period was over. I wake up and it's a dark room. I'm like, oh my God. So
Dude.
It just left me.
Boy, he must have liked you then.
Yeah.
We go through all that.
Well,
Jesus.
he tried. He was like playing a trick,
Yeah.
He's like, let's leave him and see how long he's here for. But, that kind of like those auto shop teachers are like old school,
Yeah.
And it's just like, he had this 80s truck that I guarantee ran better than every car that anybody had
That's
in the parking lot.
how I've always been. It looks like shit, but it runs good.
Right. I mean, yeah, me to an extent for me, but it's like, for me, I have the problem of I'm building it up. Ooh, let's test drive it. Oh, it's good. And then I don't do anything else.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, it's good enough. Well, I got to remember to put the pin in the window roller upper so it doesn't keep falling off when I shut the door,
Yep.
Or put the little stops on the locks on top so it doesn't go all the way down. I have to fish it back out.
Son of a bitch, yep.
But it's little things like that where it's
and I'm the same way.
Yeah, because I can live
like
with
a
them.
son of a bitch, but it's primer gray, and
Yeah,
I'm on Maypop tires, and
right. Yeah, and I could see on there where like I could show you where my blood, sweat, and tears are still stuck in the paint.
Oh,
We just got back from taking the.
Oh yeah, we're talking
about the Corvette here. It's day. So we just got back from taking the ZR1 out for a little spirited drive.
Yes, sir.
And it held on to all the expectations I had.
Oh, it'll get.
Yeah, it has gobs of power, and it's raw, unrefined power.
That's what my
in
brother
something that's
says.
fuel
too.
injected. Where you don't get the lag that you get in like a modern kind of direct injection.
I should know this, but whatever the RPM is when it goes to secondaries, whatever you want to call them, it's flawless. You don't know it did it.
Yeah.
You know when it didn't.
Yeah.
Because you're whoa, and then it doesn't do it. You're like, oh damn.
Mm-hmm.
But it's.
I mean, the dual overhead cam V8, just that technology alone, it wasn't used in anything else except for the ZR1 Corvettes at the time. And what you might remember back, because there was 3 different second generation V8s right there. There was the LT1, which was the normal one, came out in Camaros, Firebirds, regular Corvettes, and that was a Chevy 350.
Yep.
But it had a weird electrical delivery system called the OptiSpark.
Yep.
Which would always go out, and that was the main problem.
Underneath the water pump.
Yeah,
that was genius.
That was it was the worst.
Have you
probably
seen the Cadillac with the starter underneath the intake?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And they wonder why mechanics hate engineers.
Yeah. Well,
I literally threatened them at United Airlines because we'd have to work with them if we were doing something, like the brakes on 6.7s when they were first coming out. You got to work the bugs out and crap. And I ain't going to go into specifics, but we'd be so mad at them. I literally went up there, and then the foreman had to get in front of me. I was going to beat the shit out of this engineer. And
that's crazy that they were on site. So they were on site cataloging what the problems were.
And they're using me to work it out.
Yeah, I see.
Because he ain't going to grab a wrench, but he needs to know how that worked.
Well, no, because he's got a pencil.
Well, yeah, and he's wearing a white shirt and a tie. And
can't get that dirty. Come on. But so it's got a T56 in it.
Yes,
with 6-speed, which is
it's actually CF, but yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
CF.
It's German.
Oh,
I don't know what. I should look what CF stands for. It might be in that book, wherever the hell it went.
Oh, weird.
But they're German, and then when I read on CF, I probably have that in here too somewhere. They're German, but they're also in Mustangs, and they're also in. There's only one Dodge that has a 6-speed
Vipers,
and it's the same one. Yeah,
yeah,
and it's in that too.
The clown shoes. Yeah,
it's in. I like that, dude.
Well, they kind of do, right?
Yeah, well, I never would have thought of it when you say it. You're like, son of a bitch.
You'll never look at them same way again.
And guess what Scott's kid wants?
Yeah, I know.
And I know what he's doing. He just doesn't want to have a vet. Like, I don't want to be like them.
I don't blame him.
And I'm the same way. That's why I only wanted that vet.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
No, oh, no, hell no.
But, everybody's got to come across their love of performance cars in a different way.
Just don't do what are those CRs? What's the race one? They're badass and holding their value. Is it a CR? I forget what they're called.
It's a Viper?
The race Viper, yeah. Is it CR? If you look up Vipers right now, they're all, way less money, except that one. I think it's CR. CRF, what the hell? Anyway, it's the race. It's the ZR1 of Vipers.
Yeah.
And I don't blame Nathan for wanting one, because he doesn't want to be like an old man.
Is it GTSR?
GTSR, there it is.
Yeah, those. Well, that year of Viper, the first year of Vipers, like that, or that first generation, is I don't even think they came with ABS.
I don't think so either. Actually.
They were purpose built.
I don't think they had traction control.
Yeah,
they don't have shit. It's basically it's like that.
You have 4 wheels and a V10.
Yes.
And brakes too, but that's
the other thing. I got to put C5 brakes on this. I don't. Did you? I mean, they stopped fine.
They were fine.
But did you notice didn't seem like it took more pressure to you?
A little bit, but
you're not trying to follow my brother either.
It's a Corvette, so it's light enough to stop anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't really notice that, to be honest. And also, I'm used to my Camaro's brakes, which.
Oh, you're used to real shit brakes. I forgot about that.
Yeah, where it's like, I got a plan to stop.
Well, you drove his, right?
Yeah.
Mine compared to his, that'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. It's a night and day difference.
Man.
It's a machine. It's more machine than animal, but it's still like, it's more of like the pinnacle of technology.
Yes.
Rather than, this has had a long time to have like a personality driven into it, and it still is the pinnacle of technology for its time, but it has so much personality, and it's almost like you're driving an animal.
Yes.
Well,
that's what I say. Scott and his wife called it Angry.
It is.
And then I forget what I told him. It's basically a race car. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a street legal race car.
Mm-hmm. And
and you notice those headers that do the popping, and it's not doing a bang, bang, bang out the back. It's inside the long tube headers. You hear it going boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's an angry son of a bitch. I can't think of any other way to put it.
What I can't believe is how somebody was able to put those long tube headers on there.
Well, you can't do any. I had to go. I've never in my life paid for an oil change. After the 4 trips to not AutoZone, they didn't have shit for it. To Napa there, because we have that big one or back here, wherever it is. Mm-hmm. They've got it. They got to wait for the guy to go up on the stairs and get the little thing that comes to you and all that kind of crap. But they've got it.
Oh, really?
And so they had my filter, and you can't even put your head underneath it sideways.
Geez, you had to do all that for just the filter?
Well, just no. That was for that little tube I showed you because it's got intake cooling.
Right.
But while I was doing that, I was trying to get the filter, and nobody had. I thought I'd just go to AutoZone because that's right down the street from me on the Thomas there, and they were like, "We don't LT5," and I'm like,
"Oh, LT5." So, yeah, sorry. Have a good day.
Yeah, exactly. So then at Napa. They had the filter after he took him, God knows how long to find all the shit. And that's the thing I like about Napa here is, you go to AutoZone and the kid's like, what year? V8 nut, 4-barrel. And
does it come with air conditioning?
Yeah. You're
looking for the air oil filter.
Yeah. Does it have air? Seriously? I'm asking for brake pads, but anyway.
Well, now, because when I go, after I do this swap, I'm going to have to go and say, yeah, for a 2004 Silverado.
Yes.
That's it. Just give it to me.
Yeah. And I go through this with Harley, too.
Yeah.
And finally, this is in Kansas, I finally told the dude, because my son had worked there before, and I said, you can ask my son. If I buy it and you tell me it's the wrong part or whatever, don't worry about it. I'll still buy it, and I'll just keep it. And I did. I bought the wrong gas cap once. It was the quarter turn instead of the screw in.
Oh.
And I kept it. Screw it. I don't care. But... I had to tell him because they're so worried that, other people come in, buy parts. This didn't fit. What's wrong with you? You're an idiot, dogging him out. So I don't blame him, but I know what I'm doing. I know that's not for a 74. It's an 80-inch Harley. Well, trust me, I got an 80-inch in mine. And you're going to go through that with a Camaro, just like you said, 2004 Silverado.
Yeah. Well, also you get it. Every once in a while you go to those stores and you get the guy that's like, what is it? Oh, it's a Camaro, the Crate 350 in it. And he's like, not even asking if it's a 4-barrel, not even asking if it's an LT.
That was the dude at Napa.
And he's like, no, it doesn't matter. None of that shit matters because it's not that anyway.
That was the dude at Napa. And like I say, he even got the book out that's got radiator hoses for every goddamn thing ever made. And he's just let me look through it. Well, let's try this one.
Yeah.
And he'd have to call up because they got that machine that gets all the parts and shit. We had those at United too. Anyway, and so now you got a radiator hose this long, and you're only going to use that part of it, but at least I got it.
Yeah.
Know? And that dude was cool. It wasn't, you want brakes, and he's asking you if it's got air. That just kills me.
Well, but back to the the LT1 regular motor. No, we got caught in the moment.
Again.
Then there was, and a lot of people would think this doesn't make sense, but the LT5 came out after the LT1.
Yes.
And then the LT4 came out.
The LT1 was actually in your Camaro first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Camaros. I think they started 93 in Camaros, 92 in Corvettes. 91 had the L98, right?
I thought it came out in your Camaro first. Huh. But I don't know if I'm right or not.
I could be wrong.
I thought they had, but anyway, that doesn't matter.
But yeah, but the LT4 is basically an LT1 with just a heads and cam.
Yes.
And that was in, I think, the 96 Corvettes. I think it was start out just the Grand Sports, and then I think 96 they put it in all of them.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And the LT5.
And didn't that have 405?
I think it had 385.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they actually built a couple different versions of the LT5, right? There's a couple iterations of that.
There is?
Yeah, there's one that they did 380, 375, and then there was a 405 one.
Yes, at 93, they went to 405. Right. And I don't know what's different. I just know that's where I'm at now because of my chip. And that might have just been a chip. But anyway, because of my chip and the headers.
Because I also read that they were going to do a third version, but they nixed it basically because they found that they could get an LS motor to just do heads and cam and put that in the Z06 Corvettes, which was the LS6.
And it's probably cheaper to build.
It was cheaper to build.
Because you know how they are.
Because I think it was similar parts, and they had the same parts catalog.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. The engineer, here we go with engineers again. Yeah. So, because the first thing they're going to do is look for, okay, we can use on this brand new L98, we can use small block 350 parts from 78 that we're still making.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they do. And so that's why I say for the LT5, I don't know. When we say different versions, you know as well as me, it's not a different version. They just did something different.
They tweaked it in some way.
Like, let's say if they were legal, they put long tube headers on it.
Right.
It's still the same LT5.
Oh, it's the same thing. But this one, maybe they...
Because they do that on airplanes, too.
Right.
One of mine, they flew into the Twin Towers.
Oh,
and
shit.
I'll never forget because, you know,
You worked on that exact plane?
Oh, yeah. Every 6.7 United has, the 6.7-100s, I had overhauled twice. So, and what the reason I brought all this up is they changed the numbers. So it was 6213 that flew into the building. Before that, it was 6113. Before that, it was 6013. And a lot of the things that changed the number of the plane because they say it's a different version. Well, it's just they added 4 more seats in first class. Yeah. Now it's 61.
Right.
You know, so that doesn't mean shit. And I'm just trying to make the same point for the LT5. So they put long tube headers on it. Now it's 405. Ooh, but it's still the same engine.
Right. It's the same engine. They may have tweaked the cam.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Or put roller lifters in it. You know?
Yeah, and that's why, you know, even they did that in the LS1s too, because up until 2000 they had the LS1 intake, and then 01 and 02 Camaros they just gave it the LS6 intake so they could stop printing the LS1s, and it gave it an extra 10 horsepower.
Yep.
You know,
and that's the other thing too is I don't know how. I don't know the procedure or whatever, but somehow they work with advertising too, because
sure,
just like you said, now it's got 10 more horsepower, woohoo! So you're going to run out and buy it when, you know, it was probably an idiot like us that went, that still fits. We should do that.
Yeah, but also,
and he gets the bonus, and me and you are still working overtime.
Well, they also had to justify the difference between a Camaro and a Corvette. Right.
Yes,
So the Corvette was rated at 345. Camaro was rated at 315.
Yep.
And they're the same motor.
Yep.
Same exact thing. But it will feel faster in the Corvette, and the exhaust is more efficient.
And it's lighter.
Yeah. It's lighter. The exhaust is more efficient. Yep. But, it's little things like that, right?
But if you don't know anything about cars, you think the 71's way better than the 70. Holy cow.
Yeah.
No, it's...
Yeah, hell yeah, you think that. That's what they tell you to think?
Well,
you think it, for sure.
That's what I mean.
You
but
bet.
If you know something about cars, you're like, well, hell, I'll just get a big block. Screw that guy.
Yeah. I'll supercharge a big block. Come find me.
Yep.
But this LT5 was actually built in conjunction with Lotus.
Lotus designed it. Mercury Marine built it in Oklahoma.
Okay. And you were saying that Lotus was needed just for their aluminum foundries and their aluminum...
No, Mercury Marine was needed for the foundries.
Oh, okay.
Lotus was just a design, and they worked... It's actually, Chevy had it all done, and then Lotus said, well, that won't work. You're going to have to do this. I don't know exactly what, but...
Oh, well, that was nice of them.
They say Lotus designed or Lotus helped the design or whatever, but they just...
Proofread, basically.
Yeah. What's it called? Made it a little better. I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
Made it more efficient, or...
They just,
dotted the I's and crossed the T's.
Yeah. Pretty much. And then... Now we know what we got. Mm-hmm. Who the hell can build this thing? And Mercury Marine had the technology to found whatever it's called, to pour the shit in.
Yeah, to forge it, right?
Forge it.
There you go.
I can't.
Hey. But I can't get over how big it is. That's what she said. But
yeah, right. You hope.
Yeah. It's just like they shoehorned that thing in there.
Well, if you think about it, your cam on a regular V8 is down here, and you got push rods up to your head, so they're this big, as big as my hand, right? Mm-hmm. When you put the cams on top, and 2 of them, because remember there's one Ford that had 2 cams for intake and 1 for exhaust, and so that head's bigger, but not as you basically have to double the head, because you're putting 2 cams up here.
Yeah, and you think like. Also, people who wouldn't know about cars would be like, that's a 6-liter? And you only have a 5.7? Well, how come that's way bigger?
Yeah.
Well, we just explained it. The size of the motor, that's the top end. When you talk 6.0, 5.7, it only takes into account the bottom end.
Yeah.
Only.
Yep.
Anything can happen on the top.
All that is where the piston is, how much here we go
travel,
again.
Right?
Yes, how much the piston travels.
And how wide
and
it is.
how big it is.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it. But so you were airline mechanic for United?
Yeah. So in the morning I was off that Tuesday. I had rotating days, and the wife's getting ready for work, and we always had Today's Show on, and she was like, "Jeff, come here, you got to see this," and I'm like, "What?" And the American had flown in, And I'm like, holy shit. And about that time, Matt Lauer's talking and shit. About that time, here comes a United into the other one. And I was like, holy shit, that was us, hon. But at the time, I thought it was a 37. You just don't...
right.
You can't imagine a wide body flying into a guy... Well, any plane flying into a building, but let alone a wide body.
Because those are 747s, right?
767.
Oh, 767s.
Yes. So I even told her, I said, oh, that was just a 37. Thank God it wasn't a big one or whatever. Then I find out it was 6213. I'm like, holy fuck, that's my plane. Because like I say, we bought 300s later, but we changed all our 100s to 200s. You just had to put another hydraulic system in the tail.
Okay.
Make it more redundant. And then I had overhauled every one we had. And that's every 5 years you rebuild your car. It's the same thing. You rebuild everything on the plane every 5 years. And I had done that on every one we had twice. So any 6-7 United has, I've rebuilt.
Yeah, I'm actually somewhat of a pilot myself. I told you I used to fly with my grandpa.
Yeah.
So it's what our little planes had was like called an annual. Basically, everything has to be all done over every year.
Too, but you're not doing the whole thing. Like okay, let's just say for 2024, this annual, which is let's say annual number 6. You're not doing the intake. You're going to do the pistons. You're going to do a compression test. You know, I'm talking about your little plane.
Yeah, right.
You know, you don't have to do the flight controls on the tail, or and then the next annual, now you're doing the tail flight controls, and you're not worried about the pistons. You're going to do the intake. And it's the same thing on big planes.
Yeah, I mean, I was never confident enough to do anything on a plane. Because you can't just pull over.
No, well, yeah.
But like I went to like a first class of airline mechanics to just try and get a feel for it more.
Yeah.
Because I always said if I won the lottery, I would buy a hangar and work on a Mustang in it. Not a Ford Mustang. Like a P-51.
P-51.
Yeah.
Okay, goddamn, dude. All right.
The reason we're not speaking German or Japanese, basically.
Nice, dude. I like that.
But and I would nobody would see me until I was done with that $2 million airframe, and I put that Merlin motor in it, and I'm
nice, dude,
hauling ass with 1,600 horsepower, the supercharged Merlin.
You can do it. You can do it. You don't have to be an A&P. You can't sign it off. You're going to have to get me, but you can do it.
You got to be a millionaire to buy one of those airframes alone,
if you had the money.
Yeah. That's the thing is that, and just the sound of a piston plane like that.
Oh, man.
You think that this sounds good.
That's where I'm going right now. I want to show you this props, cops, and rodders. I keep saying robbers.
But there's nothing else like
here.
Hearing that thing fly.
See that, dude?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Now, that's just like right here. That garage you're seeing, and that's a Chinese plane, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, that plane.
Wait, is that
he had a little
Japanese,
garage
right?
just like it's Chinese.
It is?
Because he had to point it out. Because I didn't know either.
Oh.
It's he told us what it was and all this crap.
Looks almost like a Zero.
It's a big ass. That was one of the biggest ones there. Because most of the people were Pipers and Cessnas and shit. And, their hangar was maybe 2 of these. And if you didn't know better, you'd just think you had a 4-car garage.
Right.
And then like this guy, you see that over here, and it looked way smaller. He had a 2-car garage for his cars. And there was another plane in there, too. You can't really see it.
You'd need a Warbird license or a Warbird endorsement to fly that, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Because, every plane made has a civilian counterpart most of the time, or... So I wouldn't think that would be a thing, but I mean, I don't know. So
well, you can buy, and sometimes when I was just like having delusions of grandeur, I'd be on controller.com, which is like the Craigslist for planes.
Yep.
And I'd be looking at like all the decommissioned fighter jets that were for sale. Like all the Dassaults.
When I was in Korea in 1980. And they were flying our old F-86s. I was like, "What the hell?
Yeah,
are you
the
shitting
Sabres,
me? Man!" And they were flying the crap out of them.
Yeah,
you just reminded me of that. Sorry.
We had F-4s back then, right? Phantoms.
We were badass comparatively, but for Korea, when if you think of North Korea and South Korea, I mean, give me a break. They can't even feed their people.
It's night and day.
Yeah. So that F-86 to North Korea was like, holy shit. But to us, we were like laughing at them.
Right.
But it was good.
But the drawback of those F-4s no guns.
Well, and that's, and then I can tell you stories like we mounted 50s on a Huey.
Oh, really?
And, well, pretty soon the airframe's falling apart.
I was wondering.
It's too goddamn big.
Yeah.
But you fucked up a helicopter to figure that out. And you might have even killed a motherfucker, but.
Fuck. The 50 cals on that thing. My God, holding that thing steady.
You see his little plane there in his hangar.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there's still a garage for the cars.
Yeah.
When I moved from here to Indy, United opened a big ass maintenance base in Indy. Got them to pay for like half of it, and so anyway, there were neighborhoods like this where this street is actually the taxiway.
Right.
There's a real airport down there, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what this was. So I was like, wow, that's what I was going to do when I.
They already beat you to it. I know. I've seen that. I've seen that neighborhood, and it's like, it's very tempting because before I met my wife, I was just going to buy a hangar and live there.
Well, and that's the way I look at it too, right? I might have 7 cars instead of an airplane and 10 motorcycles, but yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Or you've probably seen the meme of the guy's house that's single or whatever, and there's a 10-car garage and 1 bathroom and a bedroom.
Yeah, that exactly. I mean, I'm in here most of my time anyway. You know, I go in there to sleep.
Like, dude, I've got it's same TV, stereo, and then of course every tool imaginable. Now I got another toolbox in the patio in the back because that vet just fucked me up. I had to get everything out of the garage for it. But the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm in the garage all day. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
We don't need another room. I'm trying to show you this warplane because as we were walking by it, it's parked in front of us. You could tell he got a lot of these people for this little car show, you know, had their plane, like you had your Camaro out there and your plane might be on this side. And this warplane was out there, 2 radial engines, and he had their oil bottles is what we called them. And it's got a tube, and you put the tube up so when the plane's leaking, it goes in the bottle, not on the ground. And these people, you know, that are there for the car shows, no, how much oil does that thing leak? And he has to have those bottles and all that, right? And I thought that was funny, but I don't correct people or anything. I don't give a damn. It's, you know, whatever you think. Well, they told us that you guys got to walk to the end of the street here because there's a big brand new house with a big ass hangar that I forget the guy's name, Ellison. One of the .com dudes.
Oh, Larry
whatever.
Ellison?
Yeah. They think he built it, you know. So we walked down there, and that's where that Chinese plane with that bigger hangar was. Oh. And we still never did figure out the house. But anyway, on the way back, that plane was taxiing. And they burned oil. Dude, blue smoke everywhere.
What was it? The twin radio. Was it on the, are they on the tail? Was it like a
No, they're
A10?
on both wings.
Oh. So it was like an early jet program plane?
No, it's not a jet. It's a radial engine. Damn it.
Oh, 2 radial engines on a fighter.
And I was trying to. No, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Are they fighters? I don't know what it was used for.
Oh, I guess it couldn't. Yeah, it could have been a bomber.
God damn it! Hang on, I gotta go. And then I told Scott's always trying to call me and his sons too on everything because I guess they think I'm a know-it-all. And
you're not.
And so I was telling him, wait till you hear you guys should hear how loud that plane is. So we walk down the end of the street. We're down, 2 blocks away or whatever. We come back and that plane's running, blue smoke everywhere and crap. And I was like, it's louder than that, I swear, because it wasn't loud. Scott's like, yeah, okay, sure. I said, when he goes down to the airport, you knew he was taxiing down there, and goes to take off, you'll hear it. And when we all got in our cars, this is an hour later, it seemed like we all got in our cars to leave. And he was still down at the airport taxiing around. He never did get on. So we never got to hear it. But I was like, damn it, I swear to God, they're loud, dude. Because they are louder than a bastard.
He was like, I'm just testing the steering on this. These guys want me to take off. It was like a World War II?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they were 2 9-cylinders or 11 cylinders. As soon as I find a goddamn thing.
That's also interesting about those plane motor, the radial engines that people don't realize. Number. Yeah, and it's like the cylinders are placed in like a circle pattern, and it's just so weird to think of.
Put 4 Harley motors together, and you'd have an 8, right?
Yeah, and it's almost a. It's a weird thing because I haven't really flown anything with a radial like that. It's all been the horizontally opposed ones.
And you know how on our V8s, your crank's here, right?
Mm-hmm.
On those, the crank goes all the way around with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you
Damn it.
think about
We got way off topic now.
the whole Boeing thing with the
Well-
7? Because I just got back from Ohio a little while ago, and I flew on 737 Maxes, and I was like, all right, well, I told my kids I loved them.
Oh, okay. Damn, I feel like I'm giving people lessons all the time on airplane crap, but
None of them crashed, right?
No.
They were
okay.
just a door plug issue.
And I'm going to explain. So, first of all, Boeing's been in Everett, Washington since, I don't even know, since Bill Boeing signed the first A&P license. I don't know, 1920s, let's say. I don't know the exact years. And then they went to South Carolina and just kind of started a new company, and they're non-union.
Mm.
In Wichita, this company it was Boeing at the time, was building airframes there. Well, they split it off and called it Spirit. And so Spirit, they sold it. So now Boeing is using Spirit for the same thing, the 737 airframe, but it's not Boeing anymore, it's Spirit. And that's one strike, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I think Boeing just got a little comfy, and the FAA did too. You know, the same thing every day. I don't need to look at your, are you wearing the same color socks? We don't need to do that every goddamn day. So I think the FAA got a little lax too.
Yeah.
But so that door plug, it's called a door plug because the door would go there if you needed it. But since it's not, it's a plug. And I don't want to explain how they work, but you tighten these bolts and they pull it in. Now it's tight. But it still has to be able to breathe. Airplanes breathe when they're pressurized. And so that's how they got away for so long, because when you pressurize and it goes out, it's sealed. But finally got enough, it's hard to explain, it finally got enough play with no bolts, or I think it was only 2 missing, but either way, it finally got enough play that it didn't line up and seal good anymore. Thank God they were at 16,000, which over 10 you need oxygen.
Yeah, because then
they dove down quick and were okay. But if they had been at 30, that plane would have blown the fuck up.
Now you can't get the bends from that, right? Like you can from scuba diving.
You mean like if it just all of a sudden depressurizes?
Well, if you depressurize, you can't breathe anyway because there's not enough oxygen.
Well,
up
and
there, right?
and your ears blow up. And
Yeah.
oh.
But I mean, like, because if you dive for, I think, like 100 feet or whatever, and then you have to like stage yourself to come back up,
You can't. It's 10,000 or nothing. There's no in between. You can't. And like, those guys that climb Mount Everest and shit, those Sherpas that don't have any oxygen and all that.
Yeah.
That's because they do it every day and get used to it.
They've evolved.
If me and you, like on, I was in the Army on Hueys, they don't go over 10,000. But the Chinooks, the twin, they do. And so they'll get on the air, and you just have to call. I don't know if you do anymore. Anyway, you call and tell them we're going up and we're on oxygen now, and because you sound different too.
Oh, really?
But anyway, that's just it. 10,000. That's just all we know, right? Well, idiots can go, well, hell, this is all right. But he's probably an in-shape dude or whatever, and Grandpa does that. He's going to put it back. But so my point is that those Sherpas that go to 14,000 or whatever without oxygen, that's because they've been doing it and they're in shape.
Oh, sure.
Our fat asses go up to 14,000. We're to be crying like babies, so.
Very true. A very good way to put it, too.
But at 16,000, that plane, even though it's pressurized, wasn't at 30,000 because the air's thinner. Like I say, that plane would have blown up. They got lucky as shit.
Wow.
Man. Anyway, so now you got South Carolina building, I think they're building 777s, and they're non-union. Right now, the mechanics are on strike, but the only union mechanics are in Washington. So they think Boeing's losing about $1 billion a day, and that's probably not that far off. But it's South Carolina being non-union is still building planes, all that's the same, but they don't build 37s there. Anyway, Now Boeing bought Spirit back, so that Spirit in Wichita, Kansas is Boeing again, and they're going to be, babysitting more now. Because they just take the same people.
Yeah.
You worked for Spirit, now Boeing bought you, now you're Boeing.
You just have a new uniform.
You're still the same guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now there's probably 2 more bosses. and shit that they trusted you with, sign that and you're done, right? Now I have to come look at it too. And it's not that I know more, it's just second eyes.
Right.
And that does work. I've called inspection, can you check all my panels on the tail here? You're missing a screw. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You are, and I'm not an idiot, but
no, you're
thank
human.
God
though.
he looked.
You're human.
Yeah. Thank God he looked. He
Yeah.
saw the screw I didn't put in.
Well, so what's the relationship then between because you have your United mechanics and then you have the Boeing engineers. And so with this issue that they had with the plugs or whatever with their quality control, I'm surprised that people know that it's a Boeing problem and not there's United that did this, or because it's obviously different airlines,
well,
right?
that's the first thing. That's the first thing they thought is it's Alaska Airlines. That's the first thing I thought. Oh fuck! I wonder what mechanic had that out. Jesus Christ, he's gonna burn, right?
Yeah.
Then you find out it came from Spirit that way. Who built it? And see, here's the thing. Okay, let me think of how I can put this in cars. Okay, you give me that engine to build for you. I give it to you. You put it in the car. And it blows up, and it's something I did. You're
Right.
going to call me. 2 years later, you've been dragging the fuck out of that and changed the intake 4 times, and you took headers off and put new headers on, and you turbocharged it. It ain't my problem anymore. It's yours, and you're United, not Boeing. Or, I was Boeing.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I mean? So the first thing I thought is that door plug came out. I was like, oh, that mechanic's that poor bastard. Then you find out it's Spirit. They probably don't even know who the hell put that in. On May 17th, 2012, when that door plug got put in, somebody signed that, and that paperwork's there. Mm-hmm. But, they, again, we're all comfy, so it didn't get inspected. I guarantee it's getting inspected now.
Yeah, I bet.
So, I mean, it's hard to explain this stuff without scaring you because you have no reason to be scared. And that's another meme is that the plane's hitting turbulence and everybody's freaking out and the mechanics over here crashed out.
It's just for me, the turbulence is like going over a bumpy road, and I don't feel like it's going to crash out of the air.
No.
Because I've been in a little plane where we have the worst part. Turbulence is fine. It's whatever. But an air pocket is something else. Where you hit an air pocket and it's hot, you get those hot, and you drop 100 feet.
And it's because it's hot.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because the air
less dense air. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's the thing that I would be worried.
See,
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that in a big plane.
You know that. Well, It happens in big planes too. That's how when you see on the news 3 people were injured because they weren't in their seat belts, and that's exactly the same thing. The plane hit a pocket, and drop, poof, and then. This is the way I explained it to my mother. You got to think of air as water. But anyway, okay,
Yes.
So it hit thin air, dropped, and then when it hit thick air again,
Yeah.
and you know that, so you're fine. But tell your mom.
Yeah, I mean it's something that you don't really get used to.
Nobody likes this crap.
Yeah.
But the fact that you are bouncing means you're in good air still.
Right.
It's thicker here than up here, but you're still in the water.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't make me worried, but it does make me nauseous a little bit.
Oh yeah,
it's
dude.
Because you can't see the windows.
Dude, okay. So I was on Huey's in the Army, and we used to fly, we called it Nap of the Earth. So if we're flying along, right, I'm Nap of the Earth, and this is a tree or a building, we go up, woof, and then as soon as I get to the other side, woof, back down. And you do that for a half an hour, you're like,
Yeah.
and I've had pilots puke, come back, I'm like,
Oh,
son of a
God!
bitch. He's flying the fucking thing, puking, right? Never got sick. I got in a DC-8 from San Jose to San Francisco, 50 miles, right? Oh, my God, I was green, and the flight attendant was my mom's friend, so she's trying to talk to me, and I'm like, and I'm trying to talk to her and act like I'm all cool and shit, and I'm like, oh, God. Yeah, you can get sick, but
Yeah.
my point is you understood that water, it's keeping you in the air.
Because it's waves, right? There's not
thicker air is just wet.
And the wind up there is a lot different than the wind is down here.
And it's 30 below when you're at 30,000.
Right. Yeah.
That's the other thing that we had to learn in through the years with airplanes, as we got higher and higher, 30,000 feet, you land in Las Vegas and it's 112.
Yeah.
How do you think the airframe likes that?
Yeah, geez. That's a hell of a thing
all
to try
of
and
that shit
count
has
for.
to be taken into account, and it took us years and years and years to learn that. And that really has nothing to do with that door for the Boeing.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as that, so what you want to look for if you were going to worry about it is it was Max 9s, because there's Max 8s.
It was a Max 9.
Okay.
Yeah, one was a Max 8,
But
one was a Max 9.
the other thing that'll make you feel better is, damn well every goddamn 737 has been looked at now.
Yeah.
There is not one 37 plane that hasn't been looked at. I guarantee it.
They grounded them until they got that.
That's right. Yep.
They had basically sequestered all the door plug issues.
Yep.
And I mean, because
There's a whole nother issue I don't want to bring up. We'll be here for a week, and I'd have to explain how planes work. But the two that crashed in Mozambique or wherever the hell, that was a whole nother thing. And I don't want to get into that, but that has nothing to do with...
you mean the Hueys or the helicopters, the Apache?
737.
Oh, 737.
Yeah.
Oh, they did have something that crashed,
737s
huh?
have been around since, I think, 65.
Oh, really?
And remember in the old days how jets were so goddamn loud and you saw black smoke, they polluted the shit out of everything, and now the engines are this big and they're quieter because now they're fans. The jet engine's still the same, but now we're driving this big fan that's pushing air and pushing way more air. The pure jets were like, that was it.
Oh.
And so 737s have been around since the pure jet engines. They're like, if you look at a 37 and the engine's on the wing, in the old days, it's a little tiny one. And now they're real big. They even had to flatten the bottom out because it looks like it's going to hit.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the Max 8, Max 9. They just keep getting longer and bigger. The same thing with the MDs, too. Oh, you put a bad battery in. Do you have to have all three?
Well, it helps to...
Because that's the other thing I want to ask you about. Oh, it's on.
Oh, there we go. I just didn't turn it on. I didn't hit record, so a
podcast is... I was just listening. Because my son does it once in a while, but that was when he used to be a politician for Kansas.
Oh.
And I would imagine he was on his 60-mile drive to Topeka. He was listening to your podcast because you interviewed freaking McCain or something.
Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is a lot of that, but there's certain podcasts that are also video too. So the video is mainly on YouTube because Spotify charges a pretty big fee to get their video on there. It's a lot cheaper to get their to just get audio on there. It's like $10 a year or something.
Well, that is audio. They don't have video, do they?
Yeah.
They do? Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, if I think video, automatic YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't even think of anything else.
Yeah, YouTube, definitely video, but some Spotify podcasts will have video as well.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's more of a, you might say, I just call it a show. You know?
Well, yeah, because obviously it's not a podcast if it's video. So.
Right. So,
because that's what I was, when I first started this thing, I'm like, what are we doing this for? For the 10 people? Really? Now there's 11? Whoa.
Tens of people.
Yeah.
Tens.
Now there's 11.
11s of people.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming by.
Oh, yeah.
And, I learned a lot,
It's been
for
good.
sure.
We just keep talking about everything but the damn car, so anyway.
Well, we talked about the car.
Yeah, we did.
We did, and we went through it, and, but, I appreciate you coming by, and I hope we can do this again.
Yeah.
Because there's more in there that I want to get out.
If I get that 19.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we need to go. The book even says once a month, take it out and whip it up to 6,500.
Yeah.
We used to say blow it out.
Right. It doesn't really
And I
actually blow
don't know
things
where,
out.
how, why, when. But I follow Scott somewhere to Roseville or whatever, and we get on 80, we both go, whoa, whoa, like I did with you.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is, if it's earlier in the day, weekend, whatever. But I've gotten on with him, and we both go, whoa, and you can only hear mine. Even he says, all I hear is your fucking car. But and then today we couldn't. I got a little bit when I took you, and I thought you'd go too. But yeah, then the second time the truck was there, and
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how you're supposed to do that.
I got the idea though, but with that car, specifically this LT5, you really want to get it up to those RPMs because that's where it shines.
Yep. Once a month, you're supposed to whip that up like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it says go through all the gears or whatever, but yeah, you want to do the secondaries.
Yeah.
And I try, but I don't, short of having my own airport or something, I don't know how the hell you do it.
Yeah, that's the thing or you go at like 12 at night, 1 in the morning when it's like nobody on the freeway except drunk people.
But then they're going to hear my ass and where's that asshole? Yeah. Because I don't know. Well, yeah, you get it here too. Mm-hmm. I keep thinking we're far away, but you're not that far from me.
Yeah.
But, I'll be sitting in the house at night and I'll just hit the mute for the commercials and and you can know, are they doing donuts? I wonder what intersection that is.
Yeah. And I wonder what kind of, and you have that kind of game in your head like, does that sound like a Dodge motor?
Yep. You're right.
That sounds like it could be. So that sounds like it's true duals. So it's probably not a Chevy.
Yep. And then when you do see it, when somebody gets popped or whatever, mm-hmm. I think that for the one in Stockton, they still have 80 cars they confiscated. But anyway, there's like 1 or 2 vets, mm-hmm. a couple of Jap cars, but almost every goddamn one of them is a Dodge.
Yeah. A lot, and they love to do the 350Zs and the Infiniti G35s.
That's why I say the Jap cars.
Those are everywhere.
I don't know the exact car. I just call them Jap cars, which I know is wrong. Sorry, people.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah.
We won't.
I don't know. I shouldn't be that way. I had Jap bikes. I always thought, either you're Harley, if you're, for motorcycles, it's okay to have a Honda because there's only Harley.
Yeah.
But for cars, I see no reason to have a Jap car. Sorry, that's just me. I'm an asshole.
Well, they also have the European bikes, which is what I was going to get. I was all looking at Ducatis.
Yep.
But then
If I was going to have a foreign, I'd have any bike. I'm not like I used to be. How about that? I used to be, fuck you goddamn Honda, and I never was, because I had Hondas, right?
Right.
But there were dudes, there used to be some bad shit, better a sister in a whorehouse than a brother on a Honda, and that's just one of the few. I can think of a bunch, but
how colorful.
Yeah. Anyway, the way I always looked at it is there's a million cars. You don't have to have a fucking Honda car. Mm-hmm. But I just told you that VTEC engine's one of the baddest ones ever made.
Well,
I'm coming around, believe it or not.
Hey, progress, baby steps. But I actually believe that Toyota is far superior to Honda.
That VTEC, they're getting 500 horsepower out of that little piece of shit.
It's not necessarily that as much as it is the reliability and Honda transmissions.
Well, once you do that with any car though, and Jap or American, once you start getting turbo, bored up to thin little cylinders and cams that are fucking 600 lift, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, I just have to go so my grandpa had this 2000 Tacoma, full 4-cylinder, 450,000 miles on it, is still going around. My wife had this 97 Honda CR-V that the motor blew up on me on the freeway.
What happened?
It just I heard a ka-tunk, and then all of a sudden parts are hitting the ground.
Was it an oil thing?
It must have been. But I pulled in to this parking lot and I'm looking behind me and there's little tiny pieces of metal that are still on fire.
You fucked that car up, yeah.
They're still flaming and And so it was and then the transmission in this Honda Pilot that my wife has went out and I was like, well, maybe it's just, I could change the fluid. And you can't change all the fluid in there.
Why?
Some of it stays in because there's some baffle. So some of it stays in, and you can only use specific Honda transmission fluid that they make for their transmissions.
There's a lot of that. You got to look into why.
Yeah.
Speaking of the devil, I did that hose, and then I had to get antifreeze, right? And you're always on. We all know everything because of our phones now, right?
Oh yeah.
So they were saying you got to use the green shit or whatever, right? So I go to AutoZone, and it's right there on the Thomas, and he's like, "Oh, that takes a different kind," because I'd already been in there. So this time it's, remember the LT5? Yeah, I need the antifreeze now. And he had to go to the back to get it and hands it to me. And it's pinker than a bastard.
Deck's cool?
Well, and but it's God damn it, I can't think of it. But it's like, you know, CR 5982. You're like, what the hell? You know, I've never even seen this crap. It looks like any other, right? Any pink or green, but you know, it was. So anyway, I looked it up, and I'll be damned if that stupid engine doesn't have to have this exact kind. I couldn't believe it, and it's just because it's all aluminum.
Right.
Well, Coyote Fords, that illuminator, that's all aluminum.
Yeah.
Do they need the same? And the CF56 or CF6 that's in this is in the Fords and in the what the hell were they called?
The Vipers.
Vipers. So that I don't remember the point I'm making, but that had to have that antifreeze. Couldn't have any other. And I'm and again being old, I'm thinking fuck you,
Yeah.
But all aluminum, maybe because it will make it rot differently.
Right.
Because that's the other thing is people think aluminum or, they think rust.
It's all metal.
Well,
to them.
aluminum ain't going to rust, right? It does. It's just white.
Yeah. It's more like a
Turns to
corrosion,
powder.
right?
Well, it's corrosion.
Yeah.
You can't call it rust.
Yeah.
But it's, it turns to white powder. Mm-hmm. And it kind of goes, like rust, it'll go in layers.
Mm.
So you can, like 2 bolts. This one's corroded to hell and this one's not. And usually it's underneath the galleys because they drop coffee and shit everywhere. And so the, oh, hell, man. I haven't worked on an airplane in so long. Anyway, on the floor beams, they'll be rotten as hell there, but not, the rest of the airplane.
Oh, okay.
And when you look at it and you see how rotten it is, it's white. And sometimes brown because it's coffee stained crap.
Yeah.
But it's the same as rust. And trying to explain that to somebody that doesn't understand metallurgy, I guess, if you will, they don't understand. Well, aluminum does corrode. Mm-hmm. It doesn't rust, but it does corrode. Well, I thought aluminum, that's why they make planes out of that. Or like, why don't they make the plane out of what the black box is made out of? It'd still kill you.
Yeah. Hey, how aerodynamic is that thing?
Well, no, they think the black box is made out of something better, so make the plane out of it. Well, you bouncing around in a, I don't know what, a solid steel tube is still going to kill you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay,
I got to thank Scott for giving you the referral to come over here,
All right, we talked about the car. I guess that's all we can talk about, huh? You notice the rims? I don't have my stock rims.
Yeah, is that Boyd Coddington?
Yep.
Yeah, I mentioned that when you were inside. I was like,
man, fuck those rims. Well, then Scott's kid Nathan looked them up, and it was like $4,000. I'm like, I like those rims. Yeah. Jesus. But I look up my ZR1s, and nobody has a set of 4. You have a front left. Dude in Colorado has a front right, and
oh, because it's one side.
Each.
And the front is different than the back.
You can't. Yeah, you can only run a right on a right. You can't put that on this side.
Right. You got to take the tires off to rotate them just to the side.
If
no
you
front
do
to back.
that, yeah, you only go. Yep.
Gotta love it, huh? The price we pay for performance.
I know, but you saw how fun it was.
It's worth it.
You didn't even get to have fun, man.
I had fun. It was fun.
We need to do this about 8:00 at night sometime.
I'm down. you know the place.
Hell yeah.
All right, Jeff. It's been real, huh?
Yeah, it's been great. Appreciate it.
All right. See you guys.